Welcome to Brigadoon Radio. I'm your host, Mark Stellingworth. Brigadoon is where entrepreneurs and thought leaders gather to discuss emerging issues concerning culture and commerce. Today I have Chad Munitz, who is the Vice President of Town Properties. Chad, how long have you been coming to Brigadoon?
This is my 5th year.
5 years?
I think I get the smoking jacket, Five Timers Club.
That's pretty impressive, although this is not Saturday Night Live. Nice try, though. Nice try.
Right.
But what made you decide to come to Brigadoon in the first place?
Really, it was Mark.
Oh, yeah.
And I've known Mark. I guess I'm probably second in line with you of how long I've known Mark.
Yeah, but I think there was a gap where I didn't know him as well as, you knew him. You had like a couple of really great stories about Keanu Reeves and some other things that were like pretty amazing, but but
I've known Mark since early days of college, and he's been convinced me to try to come out to this idea. Actually, he's had the idea for such a long time, and I finally executed on it, and I missed the first couple, but finally made my way out, and I'm a lifer now.
Now, you're in Cincinnati, right?
Cincinnati,
And so Town Properties, what's the exact, all of your responsibilities there?
So I'm in charge of new development of real estate. I also oversee most of our commercial program and then our internal kind of IT back-end systems that run our company.
What's been your favorite Brigadoon moment over the last few years?
Oh, geez. It's just really the theme of Brigadoon, and it's just all the people you meet. I mean, the fact that I've randomly met these people that I stay in contact with all year long.
It's true. That's true.
And, it's a reunion every February to come out here and see people and you pick up where you left off. It's really interesting to kind of catch people and see what's happening in their lives and their families and their kids and everything that's going on. It's like really exceptional.
For me, it's like a 7-year conversation that you just pick up right after where you left off. I remember you recommended Gimlet to me and all of the podcasts. And so do you have any other recommendations? I know you're a big vinyl fan, so are there any albums that you recently obtained?
The fascinating thing of starting to get back into vinyl is you get to redo your whole collection. Everything you have on CD, or now I do most of my stuff over Apple Music, but then you got to go back through your whole collection. So
what's your favorite album
mostly,
you bought?
I think I finally bought Kinda Blue by Miles Davis.
Oh, nice.
Which is one of the
classic
jazz albums, but I like a lot of jazz music. And finally actually going out and getting a good copy of that.
Nice.
Pretty nice to have.
So you and I are both comic book fans.
Yes.
And we both have a fidelity for Robert Kirkman.
Oh, wonderful guy.
Walking Dead. Everybody loves him for Walking Dead, but you and I know him for a couple other comic books. My personal favorite is Invincible, which just finished a 150-issue run. Yeah. But what about you?
So this summer, actually, I started reading Oblivion Song, which he
nice.
started. And really interesting thing about this one that Kirkman was excited about, he actually had written 12 issues before he published the first one, so he really got to think ahead of kind of how the storyline goes. So it's really rolled out pretty interesting. It's nice to see. It's nice to be on the front end too. I assume at some point they'll sell it for a TV show or a movie and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I personally think that comic books have moved into one, they've been popular for adults all over the world, and it's finally moved into that area for the United States. And I think that it's a legitimate art form now, more so than it's ever been. And of course, we see, television adapting at the Umbrella Academy, and we see, Walking Dead, all sorts of other shows that have been, pulled from comic books. So I feel like it's kind of the source for a lot of the current culture that we see today. So, any other recommendations for anybody out there?
It just wrapped up this year too. Was the Old Man Logan series, which was most of the movie Old Man Logan.
Yes.
The last Logan was based off of. But
that's a fantastic
great
series
as well. To finish that up too.
Yeah. So I mentioned at the beginning of the talk that you and Mark had a run-in with Keanu Reeves. Can you tell me a little bit about that story?
Yeah, so Mark and I were fresh out of college. We were probably 22, 23 years old. Mark was already living in D.C., and there was a regional Republican committee meeting in Cleveland.
And Keanu was attending, of course.
No, not at all. So we go up to the hotel. We're staying there, and we go down the lobby, and we're literally just sitting in the lobby trying to figure out where we should go to dinner. And Keanu Reeves is sitting there with 2 other guys. Big Keanu fan at the time, knew that he was a member of Dog Star, figured that was his rock band sitting in the lobby.
Nice.
So we go up to him and say, hey, what are you doing here? And that was it. It was his rock band. They were touring through Cleveland. And he says, what are you guys up to? So we're trying to figure out where we should go eat. He says, funny thing, I got some money. Try to take things easy when I'm out on tour. We got a nice tour bus. The treat we treat ourselves to each time is find the nice restaurant in town. And of all the cities we've been to on this tour, the place we ate at last night in Cleveland was the best that we've had. So it's
High
this
praise
restaurant
indeed.
called Johnny's on Fulton. And he says, you know what I'll do? Let me make a reservation for you guys. I'll call them up and tell them to take care of my buddies. Kind of walks across the lobby, goes up to the phone, calls up the place and says, I got 2 friends that are here in town. I want them to have the same dinner we had. So he made reservations for us. Better yet, though, the next morning, we're waiting for our cars to be brought around. Keanu comes walking back through the lobby, comes right through the lobby over to us, and starts asking us about dinner. How was dinner? What did you have? Was this good? Was that good?
How awesome is that?
It was pretty neat. It was a great down-to-earth story of he was at the height of his career then. So.
And that's where Mark decided that he was going to start becoming a John Wick Republican.
That was it.
Is that the foundation?
That was
of
the foundation of it.
Yeah, I don't think he's run it by Keanu yet, but
No.
we'll see. All right, well, listen, thanks for taking the time.
Sure.
And I'm Mark Stellingworth, and we'll catch you next time.